One of them is Soji Apampa. The SAP solution manager grew up in Nigeria, where corruption is an everyday problem. He wanted to change that and initiated the Convention on Business Integrity. The readers of the business magazine Fast Company recently gave him an honorable mention for this engagement. Today, Soji Apampa is Managing Director of SAP Nigeria. In the following interview, he talks about his fight against corruption.
About a people's right to development. It's really about people having reduced disparities in income between one group and the other. So what we try to do is to promote good governance, promote transparency, promote accountability, promote efficiency and effectiveness in the delivery of government services, for example, so that there can be sustained and sustainable improvements in the standards of living of the people. So it's really about the people. It's really about improving the quality of life for people when you're fighting corruption. The Convention on Business Integrity, which is a stand for good governance in Nigeria, and it's also asking businesses to come together to try and have a zero tolerance for corruption with a view to reducing the amount of corruption in the environment so that there can be an environment that can lead to better business, improved economic performance, and can impact on the standard of living of the people positively. So that is what we do in Nigeria. To deal with corruption in an environment is first a common resolve and a common purpose by all the people who have decided to move things positively. They need to come together, first of all, to decide what they need to do and have that common goal in mind. After that, they have to find a way of sustaining what they have started. And also they have to find a way or mechanisms to make sure that people are changing and shifting in their values to make sure that they cannot regress to where they started from. So I believe that the vision can be achieved if SAP will join hands with other companies, both in Germany and globally, to make sure that there are adequate sanctions for deviant behavior and that there are adequate rewards and there is a welcoming environment for those who would like to do things the proper way. Leading the way in that area. There are quite a few companies that if you go to the World Bank's website, you see have been blacklisted because they have been involved in either some fraudulent practice or some corrupt practice in the procurement process, and they get blacklisted. And if that happens to many businesses who are looking to international tenders as the way of sustaining themselves, then there are very real sanctions. Also the market, we mustn't forget that the market is a real arbiter, because the market can decide which companies to punish. If they don't like the policies of a certain company and it comes to light that a company actually bribes to get its jobs and people start to sell the shares, I believe that there will be an impact on the share value of that company, the same way that the environmental practices of companies are beginning to have an impact on how they feel. We remember the case of Enron and how the negative publicity adversely affected its image in the market. The work that I do for SAP, the personal motivation is one of anguish. Finding out that in most countries in Africa, they do have what it takes to be able to contribute to their own development positively. But year after year, development as a goal eludes so many African countries. And I think somehow, having been involved in the fight against corruption and having identified that corruption is at the root of most of the things that have gone wrong with development in Africa, that is what keeps me going. And as we see little successes, like more people coming to the realization that they can do something about the corruption, it encourages us to continue a bit more, that maybe some more people will join in, because it's from the mass action of people that will lead to the change in values that will eventually lead to us dealing with the issue of corruption. So it's like the journey of 1,000 miles. It begins with that one little step. But with each step, you know you're going closer to the goal than you had been before.